My kindergartner is doing something normal, showing her privates to her classmates, and now she's kicked out of the Valentine's Day party.
Thank you very much for watching. Today I'll be reacting to the craziest stories I found on the internet. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments.
I'm just sitting here waiting on a call on Valentine's Day because my kindergartner is doing something normal, showing her privates to her classmates.
Hold on. That's not normal. And she just said it casually. That's not normal. In what world is it normal for your child to show their private? And then you're acting like your child is a victim here. Please.
And now she's kicked out of the Valentine's Day party when other boys have showed their private parts and they won't tell me if they're in trouble or not or what, or if they're kicked out.
First of all, your child should be kicked out for doing that. She made other people feel very uncomfortable, and what she did was flat out wrong. If other people do it, they should also be kicked out. I don't think you should make an exception for your daughter just because you feel other people are doing it. If you have proof that other kids are doing that, then you should speak up because that's not okay either.
My daughter is definitely kicked out of the Valentine's Day party. I was literally getting ready to get snacks together with my baby. It's hard enough to do anything. My daughter loves Valentine's Day. I'm pissed. I'm so mad. I have to go pick her up from school for this. They literally said we're gonna punish her because this is the second time she's done it.
With how casual you speak of this and the fact that you consider this to be normal, it makes me realize that you don't take this seriously and you think that your daughter is the victim here. And that makes me think that you're probably not correcting your daughter or educating her on why this is not okay. And that's probably why she keeps doing it. I'm not saying that kids cannot do things after they are being corrected over and over again. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if the parent doesn't see that as a problem, they're probably not going to be handling it as a problem. They're probably looking at it as their child is being targeted. And I think this is something that is a serious problem that you have to talk to your daughter about. You have to teach her that it's not normal for you to show your private to other kids.
I've had talks with her dad's had talks with her, my aunt who's a teacher has had talks with her. I was a nanny, okay? It's just normal. Kids do it. Like, don't make her stay home from her Valentine's Day party. That's so mean.
I don't think it's anybody's intention to be mean to your daughter, but there has to be consequences for actions. The teachers just have to do what they have to do. I don't think you should play the victim here. I know it hurts your feeling that your daughter is getting kicked out, but until she learns, it's okay for her to sit out some parties. If there's no consequences for bad behavior, there's no incentive to change. I'm gonna read some of the top comments. This person says, when I was little in school, I did not do this, and I did not remember any other classmate doing this either. Exactly, because it's not a normal behavior. If other kids are also doing it, it doesn't make it normal. This person says, dude, there'll be tons of Valentine's Day parties. Let's focus on why she's done this twice for a second. Exactly, I just don't think this is normal. I think that the focus should not be on that she got kicked out of the party, but more of why she keeps doing this even after she's been corrected.
My 16-year-old daughter went away this weekend for a birthday trip with her friends, and my husband gave her $200 in cash. Was it $200 in cash? $200 in cash for the weekend. Food, if she wanted to go buy something while she was there, because it was a 4-day weekend, and they were looking forward to this for so long. So we were like, here's $200. About 2 hours into the trip, the Capital One goes off. Little notification. It says $12.96 has been spent. And so he looks at me and he goes, she's using that Capital One. I said, what is she using the Capital One for? You gave her $200 in cash for food, whatever, da-da-da. So a couple hours later, there it goes again. So that night we get on the phone with her. We're like, hey, what's going on? Why are you using our credit card? She goes, well, that's for food. I said, I don't understand what that means. That's for food. We gave you $200 for food, for fun, for a fantastic time. And she goes, oh no, food doesn't count in that 200. The $200 was mine. That's what she says. The $200 was mine. The Capital One is for food because you guys have to pay for my food. I think every teenager on this planet has lost their minds. Lost their minds. Absolutely lost their fucking minds.
For $200 over 4 days is only $50 a day. And you have to consider that the average person is spending about $20 for every meal. So that means you only give her money for 2 meals. You can kind of see how that's not going to be enough, right? And if she's going to somewhere that is like a trendy spot, then the cost of food is even more expensive, right? And if she's going out with her friends, I'm expecting that she'll probably want to spend some of that money on snacks, drinks, and even some activities around the area, right? So you can kind of see how that $200 would not be enough. So I totally agree with your daughter. $200 is not enough. You're a parent. You know how expensive things are, out there. So I don't understand why you give your daughter $200 and expected it to be enough for her. Not in this economy, ma'am. I'm sorry to inform you, but things are very expensive out there. I'm going to read some of the top comments. This person says $200 for 4 days. Where did she go? 1994. Exactly. Oh my goodness. In what world would $200 be enough for 4 days? And you expect her to get 3 meals in and then some money for like snacks and activities? Like, how is she going to stretch that? That's not realistic, honestly. This person says, no ma'am, you're out of touch with today's prices. Exactly. I'm a little bit surprised though, because she's a parent. So I'm assuming she's the one that does a lot of the shopping in the house. So why is she surprised that $200 is not enough for 4 days? This person says that's $50 a day, $16 per meal, no snack or money activity included. I'm confused why you're confused. $100 is definitely not enough. Definitely not enough. You definitely have to skip a meal or two to be able to make that work.
The other moms are mad at me at school and said they won't be bringing their child to my child's birthday party next year. So this year we had a birthday party at Build-A-Bear for my daughter, and everyone had a $35 limit on my dime, and everyone built their bears, and it was really cute and fun, and I thought it was a really great idea. Some moms decided to spend extra on accessories out of their own pocket, which was completely their choice, and I thought they were being really sweet and thoughtful. So after we checked out at Build-A-Bear, I said, all right, everyone, turn in your bear to my daughter. I don't want to say her name on here. And some of the moms started acting really...
Hold up. What do you mean by turning their bears? Who does a party like this? I hope this is some kind of rage bait though. Because you already said that $35 was on your dime, right? So that's implying that the bears are for the girls, right? Not for your daughter. And then you allow them to pay extra to put in more of the accessories just for you to tell them that your daughter is going to take all the beers home. I know you're lying. Please. I'm not a mom, but if I was a mom, I'm not going to have that idea. That's just ridiculous.
Weird. Well, we went back to our house for cake and the rest of the party. And one of the moms had the audacity to come up to me and say, I was under the impression that the bears we built were for our own daughters. And I'm like, it's a birthday party for my daughter. Why would you build a bear for yourself for my daughter's birthday?
Because that's how normal people do birthday parties. You're the one that has the audacity to make these kids come to your daughter's birthday, put together a bear, and then you tell them to give it to your daughter. You just made the environment awkward for everybody. And it's going to affect their relationship with your daughter.
Like, if it was my birthday and we went to one of those like glazed under fireplaces, like some of my friends would probably give me what they made. Like if we go to a wine bar for my birthday party as an adult, like my friends like buy me a glass of wine. Like, I don't know, like if you're a guy with your buddies at the bar, don't people buy you around or something? So the mom that approached me left, and then shortly after, the rest of the parents just wrapped it up and I guess decided my daughter's birthday was over. And now they're basically saying none of their kids are coming to my daughter's birthday next year. What do you think?
What do you expect? Of course, you're upset. You also have to realize that these are kids. These are not adults. So your comparison of your friends buying you a drink to them building a beer for your daughter is not an equal comparison, because you're comparing what adults would do and what kids would do, which doesn't make any sense in the first place, right? If you didn't want to gift any of the kids the beer, you should have said that from the start. But what you did implied that you were paying up to $35 for each kid's beer. And they were so happy they went to build their beer, and now you're telling them that no, they can't keep it, they have to give it to your daughter. What's your daughter going to do with 9 different beers now in her room? I'm going to read some of the top comments. This person says, I would have thought that we were there to make them for our own kids too. Plus, that's the whole point of Build a Beer. Is that the kids build it how they like it. That's a weird idea, or just seems inconvenient for a birthday party, but that's me. Exactly, the whole point of Build a Beer is that the kids get to build the beer they want, not build beers for themselves and gift it to your daughter. That just seems weird to me. This person says, now Sarah has no friend, but at least she has the beers. And nobody is coming to her birthday party ever again until she leaves that school, right? You literally just ruined your daughter's entire social circle. This person says you're wrong because you didn't put it on the invite. I totally agree with this person, honestly. If you know you can't afford to pay for everybody, or you just don't want to pay for everybody, at least let people know ahead of time so they can prepare financially if they still want to come to your party.